There have been a number of challenges that both HFT and the sector as a whole have had to face over the last year. There's been increased demand for our services, which has been an ongoing thing over the years. And there's also a specific increase in demand for services for people with more complex needs and challenging behaviours. And that's been particularly focused around people who are moving on from the assessment and treatment units following the post-Winterbourne review of move-ons from those units. And that's put demand on finding specialist skills teams, but also in finding the right housing to meet those individual needs. We've continued to face cuts from local authorities as they themselves have faced cuts on their central funding from government. So the national living wage represents a 38% increase in wages out to 2020. Now, given that we are totally local authority funded and that 80% of our costs are staff wages, this puts a huge pressure on our costs at a time of cuts. Now, the government have said that they would bring in the opportunity for local authorities to raise 2% increase in council tax, called a precept, and also funding from the Better Care Fund. But it's quite clear that that funding is totally inadequate to cover all the increasing costs. So when we looked at the numbers and we see that our income is being cut and the national living wage is increasing our costs by as much as it does, we realise that this just doesn't add up. Our response to this serious shortfall is to focus on delivering really outstanding services for the people we support and make sure that we can do that in a sustainable way. So make sure that we are investing in the frontline staff, but also ensuring that all our central support services are streamlined as much as possible. But we do know that's not enough. So as HFT, we are campaigning to make the government aware of the crisis that the sector faces. And we're also doing that in conjunction with the voluntary organisations disability group and a cross-learning disability organisation called LD Voices. And we are campaigning to make sure the government is aware of the impending crisis caused by the cutting in funding and increase in the national living wage in a campaign that is called It Doesn't Add Up. In 2015, we've also been focusing on delivering great outcomes through our fusion model of support and really ensuring that we can evidence those outcomes both for the people we support and for the local authorities who are funding them. The fusion model of support combines 9 essential elements to deliver great outcomes for the people that we support. The particular focus is to have the individual we're supporting at the centre of everything we do. And there's a big focus around person-centred active support. And every staff member was trained in this by the end of 2015-16. So we work with each individual to define for them what is the best life possible. Now this may be some quite small changes like to make a meal or to go to the shops, or something more substantial like to start a relationship, to get a job, or to live far more independently. At HFT, we can evidence that we're delivering great outcomes for people with increasingly complex needs through the fusion model of support. And in this annual review, you can read about the delivery of 3 great services for people with complex needs around dementia, autism, and Prader-Willi syndrome. Of course, the fusion model would not work without the fantastic staff teams who deliver great outcomes day in, day out. So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank each and every one of them for all the hard work that they've put in to make HFT the great organisation that it is today.